Today I'm checking out RANVOO AICE Lite Max. This is a neck device that combines fans with active cooling and heating plates. So it's supposed to do more than just blow air around your neck. I live in Singapore, which is both hot and humid, so a cooling device like this is a perfect place to test it out while I'm traveling around Singapore and give you feedback of what I actually feel. If it's doing enough cooling, is it heavy, and is it convenient to use with all its features like app control and onboard buttons. But first, let's check out what's inside the box. The box itself has a nice quick start guide inside here with all the details of basically all the controls and a bit more of what the device can do. And then you can have the little QR code here to activate your warranty. I do also like these little personal notes about the company and also history of all the devices they've created, which is really, really cool. Then we have the device itself. We have the white version. And then inside here we have charging cables. So it's a Type A to Type C with an angle and a user manual, a really thick one. Let's check out the device itself. So we've got the name on the side here. It's actually not too heavy on the marketing. It is quite big. The unit itself is definitely quite big, and it's a two-piece unit. So it only has one point that will sit on your neck and kind of expand or close onto itself. I tested a different unit before, which had two rubber grommets on the sides. So it was kind of a three-piece item. So you had a bit more fine control of how it sits on your neck. But you know, two is still better than one, right? On the back, we've got some vents, and actually we've got some vents on the side here as well. And then what you'll see is on the inside, we've got vents over here. And also there are vents going down the bottom here and also at the top over here. So it's gonna blow air actually in kind of all directions. So down the back here, it'll actually blow a little bit of air down your neck. So kind of down your neck and at your back. Let's turn it on and see how it goes. So we have three buttons here. We've got the plus and minus, as well as the power button. The power button does have a kind of a dual role. So if you just turn it on, so it enables itself. So right now it's in a AI mode. Now it's in a cooling mode. So you can see that the light became bright blue, and I can feel the cooling. It's definitely cooling off. The metal plate here is definitely cooling off. If we go to green, it's just a fan mode. And red is a heating mode. Then once it's on, you can go plus or minus and change settings. Increases the fan speed, as well as I believe it actually increases the amount of cooling or heating, but we'll check it out a bit later on. But something to consider, with the highest mode on, it does get quite loud. This is definitely, especially considering it's sitting right by your ears, it's definitely creating a lot of kind of turbulence here. I feel a bit like I'm on a plane, like I'm on a jet plane right now. It's not like ridiculously loud, but it's just a volume of noise is quite high. But this is definitely, that is, just touched my neck. This is cold. We're indoors as well, so on top of that, this is like very jarring right now. But that's definitely very cold. So for the cooling, you can do between 16 degrees Celsius up to 30 degrees Celsius, where 30 is kind of like maintaining just cool enough in a really hot environment. I wouldn't drop it down to 16, that's really cold. In terms of heating, you can do between 40 and 50 degrees Celsius. Obviously, that's the temperature on the plate itself. What actually transfers to you is probably gonna be less, but that's the capacity you can do. This unit comes with a 6,000 milliamp battery, and it can charge to full in around 2 hours. On top of that, the unit itself weighs around half a kilo, so I believe it's 506 grams. I'm going to use this for the next week in my commute around the city. I'm going to set up the app and get into the details of, is this actually worth your money? So I've been using it for a few weeks now to do daily commutes and wandering around and just generally exploring the city. And I've got a few observations to share with you. Let's start with the most important thing. Does this unit actually cool you while you're outside? Especially in the humid weather like Singapore, Actually, it does. It cools you really well to the point where I actually don't max it out. I have it set to AI mode most of the time, and I set temperature to around 25 degrees. It actually auto adjusts itself based on the ambient temperature. So it has an ambient temperature sensor. It will actually check what the ambient temperature is and then kind of compare and adjust itself. What's nice with that is that I don't feel like I'm being frozen on my neck and then feeling hot all around. I kind of balance out the two. And what I've also done is when I leave the house, I actually just press it on before I leave the house, so it gets a chance to cool off and kind of equalize. And as I'm walking outside, it just maintains that kind of a coolness as I walk around. One of the things that initially really annoyed me was the little light over here when you turn it on. It was very bright. And also, every time you made any setting changes, whether it's in the app or on the device itself, you would make a beep sound, which is just really annoying and attracts way too much attention. Luckily, within the app, you can actually turn off both the light and the sound, which made it a lot better. The light does kind of stay on when you turn it off for a little bit, just to make it clear that it's been turned off. But then as you can see now, it's actually no longer showing. So that's really, really good. In some of the settings within the app, there aren't actually that many, but you don't really need them. You have the cooling, you have the heating, you have the fan mode, and you have basically AI. Those are the main ones I would use. You know, if it's hot, obviously you want to cool yourself down, and if it's cold, you want to warm yourself up. So realistically speaking, you don't really need much more. At the same time, what I've noticed is you kind of use the fan setting how you like it, rather than the automation that it does with the AI mode or any other mode. So set to what you're comfortable with and use it that way. If you set it to full blast, it will get really loud. What I've noticed is if you don't like the noise, because there's a consistent noise, what you can do is just put some headphones on with active noise cancellation and you can't hear anything. With my Sonys, I can't even hear them at 100%, which is really impressive. Another thing that's a little bit annoying with this unit is it's actually made out of two pieces. So what happens is when you pull on your neck, it kind of often does this and it kind of moves side to side. It's not going to really fall off unless you really shake it off and really lean across, but it does kind of just start sitting uncomfortably and you have to adjust. We tested out a unit before which had two slits, so it kind of hugs you better. But I actually prefer this unit because it's not pushing onto me as much, and I have a big fat neck, so it actually makes it a bit more comfortable this way. And what I find is because the cooling plates are here, they kind of radiate cold air, and when I especially have the fans going, it kind of cools more around rather than my neck itself. I don't necessarily want my neck to be like frozen. So that's something like, it's a good and bad. It really depends on the personal preference. In terms of battery life, I got about a week worth of commute out of it, which is around 5 to 5.5 hours. And it was mixed days. Some were hotter, some were cooler, but it's actually pretty good. And if you're really stuck for power, it actually still works when you're charging it. I don't know if you would be carrying a power bank with you to charge it and use it at the same time, but that's something that you could potentially do. It's actually quite fast to charge as well. So if you get somewhere like your work, just plug in USB Type-C and charge it all the way up, which is very convenient. One thing that I got caught out on one of the days is I actually put this on and just walked out with just my phone in my pocket. And I realized when I got to the other side, I have nowhere to place it. Obviously, when you're commuting and you're using it, it's on your neck. But once you go to a meeting or somewhere else, this is an awkward thing to carry around with you all day long. So that's something that you have to be mindful of. It's a big unit. It weighs around 0.5 kilo. When it's on your neck, can't feel it at all. I basically forget about it after I got used to it. But once you get somewhere, it's a bit of a big unit to bring with you and just drop it on the table. At the same time, I'm actually almost glad it doesn't have a case, because if you had a case, you'd kind of cover all of this. Now I normally place it in my bag and actually have my water bottle, my gym water bottle in between, so it kind of just hugs and stays in the bag without really wasting too much space. Overall, I actually really like this device. I think I get a good use out of it, and I actually think I'm going to carry on using this on my daily commute. What do you guys think? Is this something that you want to get? Is this the right price for it? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.